Good morning, everyone. I'm Bill Galston, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution and a co-founder of No Labels, a national citizens organization of Democrats, Republicans, and independents who want our leaders to stop fighting one another and start fixing our nation's problems. We're gathered here this morning to say that failing to honor our legal obligations promptly and in full would be unthinkably risky. Whether by inadvertence or design, it must not be allowed to happen. Our leaders should stop playing a game of chicken with the U.S. economy. They should stop undermining our global credibility. They should start acting as stewards of their country, not just as leaders of their party. Throughout our history, in moments of crisis, our elected officials have found a way to sit down, talk through their differences, and reach agreement. That's their most basic responsibility. We're simply asking them to live up to it, right here, right now. It's very simple and very American. It's what makes our system work. Get together, talk frankly and honestly. No threats, no preconditions. In an inaugural address that I'm old enough to have heard, an inspiring young American president said this: "Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate." We should go forward together in that spirit. On all sides, words have been spoken that make it harder to do this. So what? Saving the country is more important than saving face. And now for some specifics on what failing to reach an agreement on the debt ceiling would mean. I'd like to turn the podium over to my No Labels colleague, Jonathan Crane.
I'm here to give some straight talk on what's likely to happen if the debt ceiling isn't raised. No exaggerations, no embellishments. Recently, some members of Congress have been downplaying the effects of failing to raise the debt ceiling. They point out that it doesn't necessarily imply a default on our Treasury bonds and bills. That is true. However, one, even if there is no bond default, after a few weeks, recession would be inevitable. Two, debt default will be a constant and growing risk as we head toward November. If it happens, it would be truly catastrophic. A bona fide depression would be a real possibility. Three, so let's consider this situation as we pass October 17th, what the situation will be in the markets, okay? First of all, they will see that a tremendous amount of demand is being taken out of the economy. The government will begin defaulting on payments to contractors, Social Security checks will start going out late, Medicare payments will start being late. They will realize that each day will increase the probability and severity of a recession. In addition, there will be this overhanging risk that on any day there could be a bond default. Now, I can't predict markets, no one can, but that could cause a market panic. And a market panic could cause a cascading chain of events that turn a garden variety recession into a terrible recession or a complete catastrophe. So the consequences could be catastrophic even if there is no actual bond default. The bottom line is this: if the debt ceiling isn't raised within a few weeks, a recession would be the best case scenario, and a full-blown 1930s scale depression would be a real possibility. Okay, I'd like to turn it over now to one of our congressional leaders, Congressman Kurt Schrader.
Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate everyone being here today. Democrats and Republicans are here to demonstrate to America that our members of Congress are actually willing to sit down, work together to solve our nation's problems. the no-labels problem solvers you see here today, they're ready to work, support our leadership in a bipartisan solution to the government shutdown, debt ceiling issues, and other imminent catastrophes that we're facing right now. America is tired, becoming angry, more angry, at the partisan rhetoric that dominates the media headlines, while they still struggle at home, trying to recover. They have elected us to solve these big problems of the day. I think, and I think the members here feel, we need to do a little less talking and a lot more listening to one another, brethren across the aisle from different parts of this great country of ours. Our nation is facing an unparalleled crisis. It demands bipartisan problem solving that respects, I believe, the diversity of the members you see here before us that represent this great country. The no-labels problem solvers have already shown, with the 9 House bills they rolled out in late August, that Republicans and Democrats in Congress can work together, across the aisle, support people on common-sense legislation for our country. It's time to get on with it. Let's show some courage. Let's work together like the American people expect and deserve.
Thanks a lot, Kurt. My name is Reid Ribble, and I was at a dinner last night, and a citizen walked up to me and said something along these lines. I wish I could say it as eloquent as he did. He said, "It's about time you guys stop pointing fingers and start shaking hands." And it's a really poignant moment in our dinner last night. My father was a World War II veteran and part of what Tom Brokaw called the greatest generation. I think many of us would agree with that. And when I was growing up, he would often say to me, listen, you don't fight just for fighting's sake. If you fight to fight, sometimes someone's going to get hurt. In war, someone gets killed. Unfortunately, in our country today, most Americans believe much of their government is fighting just to fight. And it's just now about the fight and not about fixing things. The discord, the lack of basic civility, the lack of progress on the big issues of the day is extraordinarily unfortunate. And it's both our government and the American people that end up getting wounded and injured in this discussion. I came to Congress to try to fix things, not just to fight for fighting's sake. And I believe that the men and women here standing behind me approach this job with very much the same vision and attitude. The more I talk to them, spend time with them, get to know them, the more I trust them, and the more they trust me. Something that's missing in this town is trust. The citizens don't trust the government. Republicans don't trust Democrats. The House doesn't trust the Senate. Congress doesn't trust the President. And trust is continually collapsing. Our nation faces serious challenges, and that both Democrats and Republicans agree. And those challenges need to be confronted. And we know that there's more of them looming on the horizon, some right around the corner as we approach this nation's debt limit. So in order to meet this challenge, we're calling on each other to begin to trust each other. The No Labels Problem Solvers Coalition, along with other House members that are here today, are ready, willing, and able to roll up our sleeves and do our part to solve problems. The American people sent us here to improve their lives, not to simply score political points. We're here working to do just that during this crisis and the challenges that lie ahead for us. We're here to work to get them fixed. And we're asking all of our nation's leaders to do exactly the same, to come together in good faith, to look for and seek a pathway forward, and most of all, to begin talking with each other to find a solution for these problems. It's time for us to lead. I'm thankful to stand here with these leaders. And with that, it concludes our comments. Thank you for coming today.